This is a
It's
chapel.
small. It's
Small.
like 15 feet on
Oh,
a
wow.
side.
Wow. You built that yourself?
Yeah, I
Wow.
built these, and then
That's
I
amazing.
hauled them up, and they use it for meditation and for they call it the chapel. Neighbors,
Yeah.
it's now gotten torn down.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
but it's a beautiful.
What year was this? A long
Oh
time ago?
God, this is no maybe 7 years ago,
Wow.
and then this is all glass.
Yeah.
Now I've got pictures of the whole thing. We could see it all done. Anyhow, oh here's another. This is the this is a house in New Zealand.
Oh,
You
beautiful.
know the windows fold up to the ceiling, so there's no sliding door.
Wow.
And these are Jara beams we picked up out of a dump.
Wow.
Beautiful. And this is I sold this for $10,000. I lost $4,000 in this house,
Oh, wow.
and then it got sold. I mean, I've done this over and over again.
Wow.
But anyway,
Beautiful house.
beautiful place.
Yeah, hopefully it's still around.
Yeah,
Didn't get burned
it
down.
is in. What else have I got?
So you
here?
wanted to build a underground house on this property? You said?
Yeah, well, yeah. I
That way
see.
you...
What I see, there's a lot of advantages.
Underground house, always the same
Yeah.
temperature.
I would build it in a circle.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea.
That slipped
Make
out.
it-
It's okay. I don't need it.
Okay.
So I built it in a circle, and I'd have probably a third of it in glass,
Yeah.
and then I'd have it maybe some glass around the side and then I'd have a big skylight on the top,
Yeah.
so you get
Good light.
light in the center.
Yeah.
And I'd have stone
Yeah.
all the way around the curve,
Yeah.
and then I'd have some kind of a beam dome thing,
Yeah, that'd be great.
and then have 2 feet of dirt over the top
Yeah.
of it. And then a fire comes or whatever, you're just
Yeah, that'd be great.
no problem.
Yeah. Have you built an underground house before? Oh.
I did one. Let's see. Here's another one. This is one that's in the bathroom, but it's all faded. You see that one?
Yeah.
That's not as sharp as it.
Yeah, beautiful.
But you know, can you imagine? You know the Kodachrome slide,
Yeah.
35 millimeter.
Yeah.
Well, that's where this comes from.
Yeah.
I took 35 millimeter ASA 20, fine grain, and then I did an inner negative 5x7. I've made a negative, and then I went up to 20 by 30 prints.
Oh, wow.
And it was sharp.
Yeah.
I could make these, but mostly 16 by 20s. They're 16 by 20 like
Yeah.
this. So what happened is that I quit architecture. I was going to go into photography because I had all these photographs.
Yeah.
So we're talking 1957, right? So I actually go to New York City, and in those days, you won't believe it, I go to Life magazine, and I walk in, and I had this portfolio with about 10 or 12 of these 16 by 20 prints.
Yeah.
So I walk into the reception. I says, I got some photographs I'd like to show you. You talk to the receptionist.
Yeah.
And she says, okay. So she sends me to Grace Mayer. I mean, you got an editor from talking to a reception, no appointments, nothing. That's how it was in those days.
Yeah.
You just walk in with some pictures, you say, I got some pictures, they send you to somebody.
Wow.
So Grace Mayer looked at these, and I pulled out 2 or 3 of them. She says, wait a minute. So she's got this black phone. She goes click, 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 the old-fashioned black phone. And she says, so-and-so, she says, have we signed the contract for the December issue? This was in October or November that I talked to her. she says, I've got some photographs here we might want to use for the December issue.
Yeah.
And he says, I signed a contract 2 hours ago.
Huh.
I miss being in Life magazine by 2 hours.
Oh, wow. Couldn't they? Yeah. So
Life's crazy.
yeah. So did your photograph got published, or you sell any photograph at all?
You know what? So she told me, go see Edward Steichen.
Mm-hmm.
Edward Steichen was a world famous World War II. He did A Family of Man, a book on photography called The Family of Man. He became the curator of Museum of Modern Art in New York.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little guy like this, white, big white beard, long hair, white, old guy. His eyes were twinkle. He was kind of, a neat guy, really nice guy.
Yeah.
And he looks at these photographs. He says, you know what? He says, I'm putting together a show of all the famous photographers in the United States. And it's going to take me 1.5 or 2 years to get the show up. We're talking 1958, 59, right about that time frame.
Yeah.
And he says, nobody wants to do color. All of the pros, because they weren't archival. They're ultraviolet sun, and there was no way in those days to make prints that would last. The colors would fade. Put them out in the sun for a week, and you lost the color.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he says, we're going to show them that there's a place in the art world for color photography.
Yeah.
He says, I'm going to put your color stuff right in the middle. I'd be competing against Ansel Adams, Minor White, Emmett G. Coco. I knew all these people.
Yeah.
And they were world famous photographers.
Yeah.
And nobody would do color.
Yeah. Wow.
And I would be the only one in the show in color.
Yeah.
With my stuff up against theirs.
Yeah.
And so I said to him, I says, well, I says, I'm on my way to Europe. And I says, what do you want me to do? Do I leave No. He says, you take your pictures with you. And he says, I don't know exactly when the show's going to come up, but 3 months, give me a contact place. 3 months before the show, I'll give you a call. You mail the pictures to me, and I'll put them up for you.
Oh, wow.
So I left him, and I went to Europe. I came back, and I built the Manzanita house right after that.
Yeah.
I forgot all about the photography. I was so busy with this house.
Yeah.
It was 2 years building that place.
Yeah.
And so one day I thought, gee, I wonder what happened. Never heard from him. I call up the museum. He retired. The show never got on.
Oh, wow.
I missed. That would have changed my life, but who knows,
Yeah,
But life is so crazy.
Yeah.
You never know where it's going to lead you.
Yeah. Very unpredictable. You just go for it.
Well, you go, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
So it's good.
And you just have to go with the flow.
Yeah, and try. And try something new. Underground house is where we should go.
Yeah.
Do something underground. Then no one could complain.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Well, then, and then too, as I say, there's also the idea of warmth.
Yeah.
Year round.
The earth. And eventually we can be buried, so it's good to try live underground.
You know what? Come check this water. I bet you it's hot by now.
Yeah.